So today's video again about aging, accelerated aging and what chronic inflammation can do to us to accelerate the aging, and also about lymphatic system. It is very big subject, very big topic, and I will come to it again later, maybe in more details. But okay, so first I want to motivate you to click in the link in the description and download and read the presentation, because it is certainly more easy and will save you time, and instead of listening my English, which is not so well pronounced maybe, but again you will get also the links to the sources of information, at least some information. And what I want to tell you that the current situation in the world is such that like 5 years ago, 1915, it became clear that the technology to extend the lifespan of humans indefinitely, I mean maybe 300 years, 500 years, 600 years and more for eternity, can exist technically. And in 5 years to year maybe 2025, 2026, such technology will be available commercially. But imagine that we have already almost 8 billion people on this planet, and if everybody will live 300 years instead of like 60, 70 or 90 years, then we will get really big overpopulation. And people with power, rich people are very concerned about overpopulation, and especially Bill Gates. And Bill Gates proposed the tools to reduce the overpopulation, as this is the vaccine, #1 tool. And then we will see this mandatory vaccination. And then now it is always made, or what you see, what you hear from mass media, what you hear from your medical specialists and insurance companies, it is to reduce the overpopulation. It is to shut down the old people, to actually exterminate these worthless eaters, and this what we are facing. So it is really big selection, really big selection of smarter people who would stay, who would survive these 5 years and will not die, and in time maybe will get this rejuvenation, and that will live much longer and healthier and a productive life. So now the question is, are you really a human with ability to think and to fight for yourself instead of listening my mass media? So you have to decide for yourself. Are you going to live long? What do you want to live? What is your motivation? And then I am coming to my motivation. I mean, why I'm doing this video. It's because I am doctor not in medicine, I am doctor in physics, and the biology was always my favorite, but I am quite new in it, and then I am learning quick, and then I have to get this knowledge very quick. And this is why I do this video, because writing the presentation and speaking it and presenting it, it makes this knowledge more organized in my brain, so I can think clearly and I will understand clearly. But also look at the development of this technology. In 1915 there were this announcement that there are some senolytics medicine which can kill senescent cells. I was telling about this in previous videos, but since then we don't have any news. Why? While the number of people who are getting to this area, pardon me, and trying to make money to find other senolytics with artificial intelligence or without, or whatever method, but certainly we may expect a growing number of known senolytics, but we don't see it. We don't see it because it is commercial. It is commercial. Nobody will tell you for free what to do. I give you a hint, and I want to motivate you to work. You have to show your ability to think. You have to show your ability handle the data, and then you have to read scientific publications like I do, and you will see big difference between what you can read in the science, in scientific publication, in scientific research, and what is official medical care is advising to you. So it's again, it is big gap, big difference. I always was suspicious about the medical system, medical care, and if I listen some doctors, then these are few doctors who are working with athletes, with people to enhance performance, to enhance the health. So then it is like Paul Mason from Australia, and it is Paul Saladino from Texas, and maybe a few more names. Again, that they can tell you clearly, because they are interested to get money from health improvement, not to keep people sick, but and get more clients, but they are getting more clients just advising, giving good advice, and then people who are interested in health and in performance, they pay money, they are listening them, or they are getting clients of these people. So I listen only few medical doctors, and I myself not a doctor, but again I understand that nobody will give you for free all the discoveries, all this information, and including me. I work myself on analytics and try to test this or that, and some working amazingly, some not so well. I mean, it's again, I put my life in risk, because the only mouse, the only guinea pig I have, this is myself, my body, so I'm really very cautious. I don't do stupid things, but when I am testing, it is really risk. And there are side effects, because these analytics work like chemotherapy. Chemotherapy kills cancer cells, or they turn cancer cells to the senescent cells, but I go further to kill the senescent cells, and this is what I'm trying. Again, this is a lot of work, and I will never tell you what results, but I give you a hint. I try to teach you how to get this knowledge, how to work with literature, how to think for yourself. I am a professional scientist, and this is my profession, to work with information and get a conclusion. And this I give you some quite important information, but again, don't expect that I will teach you to live forever, how to live forever for peanuts or for free. Then it will be my secret, and I know that I will keep it. Maybe if everything okay, I will help my friends and my relatives, but this information is so high value that again, it is a matter of life and death. Next 5 years, this depopulation program is the agenda. Will you live long? Will you live 5 years or longer? It depends on you now, okay? So, okay, let's go to this presentation, because it's again very important. As always, I start from some general introduction. What is aging in my understanding? This is my viewpoint. How I understand what is aging. Aging is, to my opinion, is largely determined by uncontrolled increase in the number of senescent or zombie cells, which become hyperactive in the production of protein molecules, proinflammatory protein molecules. It is so-called senescent associated secretory phenotype. It is a number of molecules, and this composition is changing in time when the zombie cells or senescent cells are getting older. The composition is changing, and after this transition to zombie state, they don't produce any of this SASP, but they are just not active. It takes time, about 1 week, 2 weeks, and they are not hyperactive. But and then, I was telling about this already, that this pro-inflammatory molecules, it is like cytokine, these pro-inflammatory molecules, they ignite first local tissue inflammation, and then it triggers all the chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation is the center of our senescence, or the center of this degeneration process. Meanwhile, we know that there is such animal which naked mole rat. You can click on the link in the presentation and get to the description in more details. It is very interesting animal. It lives about 10 to 20 times longer than other rodents of the same time in the lifestyle. So it lives in Eastern Africa, and it accumulates zombie cells naturally, like we do, but these zombie cells, by some genetic mutation, they do not secrete this proinflammatory cytokines. And then this aging process is much more slow, so 10 times slower. So this is again a hint for us that if we suppress somehow the production of this pro-inflammatory cytokines and chemokines, then we can live 10 times longer. So imagine 600 years, like this ugly mole rat, mole rat. Okay, but yet again, it is a hint that we can live much longer if we, in two ways. We suppress the secretion of these pro-inflammatory proteins with the use of senescent drugs, and in my previous videos I gave two examples of super centenarians, people who live longer than 100 years, maybe 200 years. Some Chinese herbalist was living maybe 200 years, and by consuming a lot of the senescent drugs, and then it also gives us the possibility to live much longer. Or consumption of chocolate, 1 kilo a week, this also can extend your lifetime, but not 10 times, maybe slower. Okay, but again, the other way is to destroy some part of zombie cells when they accumulate, when we are getting too many. We can, with senolytics, special medicine, we can destroy some part of these zombie cells, and then we keep this aging process slow down and maybe even rejuvenated. Because normally we need zombie cells in younger age to fight the cancer, and we need zombie cells for development of the embryon. But when in older age they accumulate, and if they are above 1/10 of the percent of the body cells, so if they are above the number of immune cells, then our immune system cannot control the zombie cells, and then those zombie cells, numbers of the zombie cells are growing exponentially, and this what we see that when zombie cells exceed the ability, number of zombie cells exceed the ability of the immune system to destroy them, then we have this exponential growth, and we have this mortality law, which is statistical distribution of the death probability, and we see that it is logarithmic scale, logarithmic scale at the y-axis, and then we have a really it show us it is exponential. Exponential, it means we have explosive growth of number of the senescent cells. So it is the data which support this model that we depend, our death depends on our accumulation of senescent cells, and if we reduce number of senescent cells somehow, or if we suppress this senescent associated secretive phenotype, these pro-inflammatory molecules, then we can live much longer. So again, the core, the reason of the aging and the degeneration, it is coming from zombie cells, but it reveals itself as chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation creates these zombie cells also, and cancer cells. So this is why we have such tendency of death probability. Okay, just one more about zombie cells. The mass of mitochondria in zombie cells is increased in order to provide energy for the production of signaling proteins. But this mitochondria is less functional than in healthy cells. In them, the efficiency of fatty acid oxidation decreases, and energy, that is adenosine triphosphate molecules, are produced mainly from glucose, the same as cancer cells. These zombie cells are going this way to produce energy from glucose. And in this case, especially malfunction of mitochondria, they create a lot of reactive oxygen species, and these reactive oxygen species again can ignite inflammation in the neighboring cells, but also it is a tool to destroy them. Because if we create such conditions that more reactive oxygen species produced, more this hydroxide ions and hydrogen peroxide is produced in the cells. But again, in zombie cells are more sensitive to this concentration because their glutathione level is already decreased in them, and then we can kill these senescent cells if we practice high intensity interval training, when all the body is changing to anabolic production, to anabolic way to produce oxygen, and we have accumulation of lactose, lactic acid, and then we have all this acidification of tissues in the body, and then this all this acidification and anabolic way to produce energy creates a lot of reactive oxygen species, and it can kill the zombie cells. So some interval training, not for long, is very, very helpful to reduce. It works like senolytic, very cheap, so you can get it for free if you will do it. So okay, what else? They again, as I said, first they produce energy in mitochondria from glucose with a Krebs cycle, but another they will get energy this anabolic way and by in cytoplasm. In cytoplasm, by glycation process, first to pyruvic acid, and then pyruvic acid go to lactic acid, and this way produce not so many adenosine triphosphate molecules, but it works. But it is again what is interesting. So if your tissue have a lot of zombie cells or senescent, or pardon, no, this is senescent cells or zombie cells, or it has cancer tumor, the acidity is growing in the tissue. This is a sign of that the tissue is inflamed, and then it's very bad for your body, because again high acidity can ignite transition of the healthy cells to zombie state, and zombie cells ignite transition of healthy cells, mutation of the healthy cells to tumor. And then this is very, very important to keep the alkaline reaction in your tissue. And I was explaining already in previous videos, there is an easy way to do it, easy and cheap way, absolutely cheap way. There is my video on the use of this AKG supplements. So people sell for huge money for a very expensive this supplement, but actually it works the same like citric acid. So you can get it for peanuts, the same tool to alkalize your tissue. You don't need much, maybe a gram or two of this citric acid every time with the food, and it also improves digestion of proteins, and I feel great. And I need much less protein to consume, and like some days I eat 7 eggs and 1 meal a day and nothing more, and I'm feeling good. Okay, I use also bone broth for minerals and for maybe a little bit more calcium ions, and but this bone broth plus eggs, 7 eggs, enough for all day. Even if I go for 2 hours on aerobic training, riding my bicycle very quick, and or swimming for long, it works. Again, if this fatty acid burning of fatty acids is blocked in mitochondria, then we have, but fatty acids they are coming to the cell anyway, So they accumulate in some droplets, lipid droplets. It's like vacuole, and then this is what happens with the senescent cells. Sometimes they even split the nucleus to two. It is like they are going to divide to two parts to procreate, but they just get frozen at this stage, and they enlarge in volume. And again, like they want to split, they want to divide, they want to procreate, but they stop, they get frozen in this stage, and instead they produce these toxins. It is like toxins. These cells are definitely sick. This signal is just for our immune system, and that cells killers, macrophages or maybe lymphocytes can come and kill them. So it is again they are coming and they eat these macrophages. They kill inflamed cells, all inflamed cells, including some healthy cells. And healthy cells, when the macrophages eating them, they produce amino acids, they produce some other substances which are useful for zombie cells to produce this proinflammatory cytokines. So this not direct cannibalism, but they directly get more amino acids from killing healthy cells, inflamed but actually neighboring cells. And then, but again, they use glucose as a main source of energy. And our task, again, if we will think logically, then we will find out what to do, how to reduce the activity of the zombie cells. Just one moment, I will just stop again, and I will emphasize again that I used already. I discussed this the salt of alpha ketoglutaric acid. There is a video on it. This is dietary supplement. It's extremely expensive in comparison with other acids from the Krebs cycle, and the citric acid is, or lemon juice. You can use lemon juice or citric acid, whatever. It works both. It improves your digestion. It improves your health. It keeps your body tissues in alkaline state, alkalizing a little bit. So it is very good, especially for health of the cells. So the rate of transition of zombie cells, transition of healthy cells to zombie state is reduced just with this. And I don't know about biological age. This supplement is advertised that it can reduce biological age somehow like 18 years in 1 year. So I cannot believe it. It is something wrong with these measurements. But anyway, I just feel it. I feel it on myself. It is really good. Okay, cheap way to use it, and it is not. Again, you will find the advice to use lemon juice, quite many. Instead, people, again, it is not very wide knowledge. Instead, people propose this diet specialists, they propose to drink acetic acid, or I mean this apple vinegar, which has very tiny amount of malic acid. Malic acid in the Krebs cycle, so it is good. I use malic acid also, but instead of this vinegar acid, better to use citric acid. Vinegar acid makes nothing good to you. It can, our liver can digest it the same like alcohol, but if you drink this vinegar, why? It makes no help to you. It gives you some amount of malic acid, which works good. But the vinegar acid is useless. It is useless. It can make you sick, your guts, and can be damaged. Your stomach can be damaged. But again, I hear some complaints that people are complaining that they cannot drink lemon juice. They cannot use citric acid because they have this acid reflux. Bad feelings. Again, why they are getting it is problem with your stomach. Acidity of the gastric juice is not enough, and then this sphincter, which separate your stomach from this tube for food coming, then it is working not very well, and then you have reflux of the acid. Again, it is not related to citric acid, it's just your stomach doesn't work well, because you was consuming a lot of protein and with plant food together. And if you use it together, you get all the metabolism is wrong, so you have to separate, at least separate proteins from carbohydrates, and then it can help, but better just forget about plant food, forget about carbohydrates. It is absolutely, in older age, it is absolutely must. You have to do it. In young age, immune system, like till age of 14, works perfect, and young kids can eat anything. But even with young kids, I see that they are getting diabetes, they are getting obese, they are getting even cancer. Why? Because again, with processed food, they are getting so many toxins, and again, this mixing of proteins with carbohydrates, which is quite normal, and they are getting vegetable oils, which are actually seed oils, and a lot of toxins. And then even young kids getting tumor development. It is incredible, it is incredible. So low, the level of toxins in the environment, in food, is astonishing. So you have to reduce it. I cannot say that maybe not all people can afford the carnivore diet. The carnivore diet is the best. But if you cannot afford it, I just cannot imagine why you cannot afford to eat eggs. 7 eggs or maybe 10 eggs a day, and bodybuilders, some bodybuilders eat 25, 30 eggs a day. And okay, if it is below 10 eggs per day, it is cheap. It is cheap. It is cheap. And I was growing chicken to produce egg, and I was growing mushrooms, and it was time when I was feeling myself really great. Really great, and everybody, my friends, were telling me that my appearance improved very much that time. Now I don't have this opportunity, but in future I maybe will return it, because growing your own food is the best way to control the level of toxins. I was growing that pasture chicken, they were free to go, and I was using clean food for them. And okay, I will not go into details, but again, if you can grow mushrooms, which is again easy technology, you don't need much space for this. I was growing every day a few kilo of mushrooms, and I was selling it. Also the excess of I was selling it, but also I was selling eggs, because I need maybe 5-10 eggs a day, but chicken produced maybe 2 dozens of eggs, and then it was always good for me and for relatives, and to get healthy food. And again, all the what we see, and that all is directed to stop you from eating meat, from growing all your own food, and to make you sick. 5 years are very critical. These 5 years will be very critical, and I believe this death rate next years will be will be just huge. Okay, just once more. Then glucose coming to the any cells. It can be the zombie cells or cancer cells or whatever. And in zombie cells, the mitochondria, they in Krebs cycle, they can they can burn the citric acid with production of this basic and alkaline salts, which is calcium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide or whatever, and then it makes acidity, reduced acidity, it makes alkaline reaction inside the cell, which is very good actually, because you don't need acidity inside the cell, and it can damage everything. It can damage, it can that your lysosome can leak, and with enzymes, and enzymes will destroy mitochondria, they will damage the DNA, and so you don't need it. Another way, it is like getting pyruvic acid and then to lactic acid, and then again this is make your cells inside acidic, and it is not good. But for short while to exterminate the zombie cells, you can do it. because this high acidity produce a high amount of reactive oxygen species in any cell, but in healthy cells we have glutathione, we have antioxidants high level, and they will compensate this, reduce this level of reactive oxygen species. But in cancer cells and both in the zombie cells and senescent cells it doesn't work. So they can keep this high level of reactive oxygen species, and then these reactive oxygen species will react with membranes. They can destroy membrane of the lysosome, you can destroy mitochondria, and even membrane of the cell, and then we will have apoptosis, the death of the senescent cells, and also death of the cancer cells. So just think about this. So it's an easy way, okay? Again, if we will think logically, then we can get to conclusions that in older age, the only way to have good health, it is to follow ketogenic diet, to produce energy from fatty acids, or a carnivore diet. Carnivore diet is the best because you need a lot of proteins, some amount of fatty acids you need also to produce energy, but you need 1.6 gram of protein, dry protein per kilo of your weight. And for me, it is like, especially you can use maybe a little bit higher to be sure that you are getting high value proteins, maybe from meat or chicken. And then you maybe need 2 grams of dry protein, maybe not so good quality, per kilo of your weight. And in my case, it is like to eat 1 kilo of chicken meat a day. It is quite a lot. So, and some days I just cannot stuff myself with so much meat. It just doesn't go. And in case of better quality proteins like eggs, I just need just little. I cannot eat. My body gets satiated very quick, and I feel great. I don't have any hunger, but it depends on quality of the protein. Your body is sensing. Do you have high quality proteins or low quality proteins? And with high quality proteins, you need just little. And you need, of course, the minerals. And minerals in eggs, you have minerals. But even for this carnivore diet, you can supply to use supplements, salts of magnesium or potassium, what I do, and again, you will have no problem normally. Of course, this transition from the so-called recommended diet to carnivore diet and ketogenic diet takes time. You need 2-3 months for full transition, and again, in mass media and doctors, they tell you that this is wrong. This is wrong. You have to get energy from glucose, and then you will live not long. Okay. Then again, nobody is interested that you will live long. You are supposed to work till retirement, and then maybe 3-5 years long, and then be dead. This is the idea. You can save money for insurance companies if you want. Okay, follow the advice of the official medical care. But I am not a doctor. I'm doctor in physics. I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm learning myself, and I'm learning from scientific publications. And this is my profession, to get correct conclusions from the information. Okay. And then I have no problem with science. Some science is corrupted, of course, but if you read a lot of scientific publications, you will find out the right way, the truth. Okay. So, and again, there are many channels in YouTube that will give you such advice, especially if it's official doctors. They will never tell you what is right. Okay, then to my opinion, I never follow the advice of the doctors, only these doctors who work for high performance athlete. Then I respect them a lot, I follow the advice, but not official medical care. Thank you very much. Last 10-20 years I never went to physician, and I'm not going to. Okay, then okay, what else? A few words about Alzheimer. Alzheimer and Parkinson's disease can dramatically reduce the quality of life of all the people. You know that you actually will die. You will die alive. You will suffer so much because your brain will be destroyed. And why? Why? Because Alzheimer disease has other name. It is diabetes of type 3. what happens? What happens if you get energy from glucose, and in time you're getting this all the stuff? It is like hypertension and stiffness of the increased stiffness of the blood vessels, because glucose reacts with proteins and make cross-linking of the proteins, especially in the blood vessels and in muscles, and then it is getting stiff. You're getting stiffness in the muscles. They are not elastic. Your skin also sagging. And I started this program just about 1 year ago. I see big progress, but yet I need a longer time to reduce these toxins, to get rid of the toxins, and to really rejuvenate my body. But okay, I see it works. Well, and then again, if you eat this glucose and you have problem with the stiffness of the capillaries, and you have a problem with hypertension, so you have then, because of hypertension, the small gentle capillaries can be destroyed by these pulses of the pressure. And if it happens in your brain, then tiny areas of dead neurons caused by damage of the blood capillaries build up over years. You're getting already dead zones inside of your brain already just before you get the Alzheimer, but it slowly develops. And what else? You see this difference between Alzheimer and normal brain. Alzheimer, it's already quite big part of the brain is dead. And you are slowly changing to apes. You just cannot. Some people already cannot speak and cannot think for themselves. They are just like animals. They are slowly dying. And unfortunately, my father developed this Alzheimer in his last years when he was 89. And why he developed? Because again, I didn't go to this subject long ago. I mean, before. And I just was recently started to learn it. And he was following this normal diet. He was practicing the intermittent, some fasting, but again, there was no information what to eat, and he was eating just normal food. And the result was such that his bladder, the gallbladder was removed. And because of this, he was not able to consume fat, to use fat as a source of energy. So then he got this high level of glucose in the blood, and eventually it came to Alzheimer's disease. Because when you have high level of insulin and glucose in blood, then you have this resistance of cells to insulin. So insulin it gives it's just pushing the cells to open the gate for glucose and to use glucose as a food. But if you have already this sensitivity of the cells drop to insulin, and then even at high level of glucose in the blood, they are starving to death. They are starving to death from no food, no energy. This is the real cause of Alzheimer's disease. What else? When you use the glucose as a source of energy, the glucose reacts with proteins, and you are getting amyloid, and where it was? Okay, that's Okay, so you will read. Okay, they will produce this amyloid. This is the protein which is damaged because of glucose and fructose in the blood, and then this damaged protein accumulates, and it works as to sit on the sensor for insulin. And then again, brain cells, they cannot use the glucose because the sensor for insulin is blocked. So it is like cells do not understand that they have glucose in the brain. And then they are starving to death. But there is easy way to repair it, because you can use not glucose, but you can use ketones or ketone bodies, which liver produces from acetyl coenzyme, and then it is not from fat, but in some sense it is yeah, it is also fatty acids. And then with these ketone bodies in your blood, the brain can get energy from ketone bodies or from ketones. Okay, this is the way to supply energy to your brain, and this is actually a very good way because ketones don't produce much reactive oxygen species. The brain prefer to use ketones, but we don't have much of these ketones. And again, if you watch some channels and people say, okay, drink coconut oil, I mean, or this MCT, medium chain size fatty acids, but this is correct answer, correct advising. Yeah, you have to use coconut oil or this MCT oil, but it doesn't produce ketones. Yeah, ketones are liver produces from this acetyl coenzyme. It is more complicated way, and but if you use this fatty acids, middle lengths of the chain fatty acids, then your body, your muscles can use these fatty acids directly without conversion to ketones. Okay, then you have liver. If liver will produce ketones and some a little bit glucose, but keep it steady, and then again your brain will work much better because then you will have this no Alzheimer. Even people with Alzheimer already developed Alzheimer, they feel much better when they use an animal fat as the main source of energy. So it is again, even you cannot reverse it. You cannot reverse because cells are dead already, but they feel a little bit better. So again, Alzheimer is absolutely awful disease, and better to prevent it before it will develop. And how to do it? Again, in older age, forget about glucose, forget about plant-based food, and about carbohydrates. It is for you in older age. It is toxic. Young people, kids can eat junk food to some amount, not so much, but some. But if you will use glucose as the main source, then this damaged proteins, amyloid, beta, and tau protein will grow, and they will appear in your brain. And then normally these damaged proteins not easy to remove. You have to get into autophagy, and this again, you know how to make it autophagy. You have to stay on ketogenic diet, in ketosis state, to use fatty acids, and then if you don't have enough, use intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is like eating once a day or every next day, and then you have this time when you have not enough proteins in amino acids in your blood. And then this process of autophagy can be ignited, and then the cells are trying to get amino acids. The lysosomes, they try to digest some broken proteins and malfunctioning organelles, and this will help. This will help to also to reduce this neurodegenerative diseases. But again, I tell you once again. Ketogenic diet is the only way, but the carnivore diet is the best because you need a lot of protein in old age. Okay, so, and also if you use carbohydrates as mainly sugar, grains, and fruits, then you will get leaky gut syndrome, often develops, which leads to penetration of toxins, foreign proteins, bacteria, and microbes into the bloodstream from the intestine, from the large intestine. And this is not only depletes our immune system and causes the development of autoimmune diseases, but in our body, our autoimmune disease. Myself, when I moved to Thailand about maybe 6 years ago, not temporary, but temporary, but that's permanently I moved like 6 years ago. 6 years ago, and first I came on 12 years ago, and 6 years ago I moved completely. And I was eating a lot of fruits because I was thinking all fruits have vitamins, have minerals, we need them so much. But as I also use farming, I'm farming here. I keep 10 hectares of farming land. And to produce the cash crop, we were spraying a lot of herbicides, a lot of insecticides, a lot of some toxic stuff. And when workers are working for us and spraying these toxic substances, if they're not properly protected from this toxic, they just getting losing consciousness. It is so toxic. And fruits and vegetables, and they are saturated with this stuff. Because at the local market, if I buy this cucumbers, for example, I used to buy cucumbers a little bit because just to support friends, and then I was eating a little bit and I was getting sick from these cucumbers. So I don't know what they were spraying on the cucumbers, because maybe some insecticides, but it was making me sick, and I completely stopped to use vegetables, to eat fruits, and only meat, only the strict carnivore diet, little bit sugar, little bit sugar, not sugar, but honey I consume, because we need it also to grow muscles a little bit, because you need a peak of some spike of the insulin. So when you consume proteins, it increases insulin also. It gives you amino acids to build up the muscles, but also gives some insulin, but not enough. And then short boosting of the insulin with a few spoons of honey will work well, and so you can use it. Well, and then again, if you have this leaky gut syndrome, these toxins can enter the brain, and they can cause chronic inflammation in there also. Yeah, and it is again inflammation is results are such that you will get Parkinson's disease, you will get Alzheimer's disease, and there is some hypothesis that maybe if again you have leaky gut syndromes and bacteria and viruses which are coming through the leaky gut, this damaged epithelium layer in your guts, they then can cause chronic inflammation because of viral infection. Even this herpes, for example, virus can accelerate accumulation of amyloid, so it produces inflammation. And as inflammation, then you have, again, if you have glucose, it ignites the misfolded proteins and production of amyloid B. And well. Okay, then again, okay, then you can read it. I don't want to go to many details. There are some hypotheses and what we can do, and and we need immune system properly functioning, because the way to kill senescent cells, one is just to use senolytics, but it is not so clear what senolytics will work. And again, quite many people, many companies work to find out what the senolytic will work, but they keep this information secret because it's of high commercial value. And I myself also will not disclose it, what I'm using, because it is medical. I'm not giving any medical advice, and I do not share some personal experience. Only some idea, and you have to show that you smart enough to survive. Okay, this is up to you. But I can give you an idea how to make it easy. And an easy way it is just to treat, to use, as I said. To make immune system working, and from one video I was putting a video, you can watch it again, what to do to rejuvenate the thymus. But it is not enough, because even if you produce more T cells, more immune cells, but then what is happening just in young age, you have fully healthy, highly active thymus, and you have lymphatic system working properly. But in time, in age, when you are aging, that amount of the number of T cells drop 10 times after the puberty, and in age about 40-50 it drops again to 10 times. So you have very tiny part of the working time thymus. And but you can restore it. And I described what to do, and so you can do it. But again, even with fully restored the thymus, it will not help if your lymphatic system is damaged. So, and first what you have, what problem you have maybe lymph nodes can be damaged by fibrosis, accumulation of the senescent cells in the wall, and then if volume inside of this lymph nodes is reduced, and this you have fibrosis, then not so easy, actually these T cells will not work. Even so, first you have fewer number of T cells, and then in this very restricted volume, they cannot exchange information, they cannot do proper job if you have problem with this lymph nodes. And so you have to, but again, senescent cells, they can help. They can reduce the level of proinflammatory cytokines and can reduce the fibrosis. It was already demonstrated that some senolytics were very good to reduce fibrosis in lungs and kidney and liver. Maybe it will work for lymphatic vessels. There was no such publication, just I speculate that maybe. So we can expect that it will work, because the senolytics will work. And okay, what else? What can we do? I mean, what can we do to rejuvenate the lymphatic system? We can go into details. What is our immune system? Our immune system, first it is parts which are producing immune cells. It is bone marrow, it is spleen, it is also the thymus. Thymus is a very, very important part of our immune system, but also all these lymphatic capillaries and lymphatic vessels, and also the lymph nodes, very, very important part of us. Yeah. Okay, then what is happening in there? We can go a little bit more in details to understand why we have problem. So again, we have the blood circulation. Blood circulation schematically is shown here, that from arteria the blood go to capillaries, and capillaries supply oxygen and nutrients to cells, and then other capillaries, vena capillaries, they collect the CO2, and they collect some trash from cells, and they return it, and okay, kidney cleaning it, but okay, they eventually come back to the heart and pumping again, and rate of pumping is relatively, rate of the circulation of the blood relatively high, but some amount, what is happening in capillaries? In capillaries, some amount of the plasma, blood plasma is leaking out, and then we have accumulation of some liquid, which has name lympha, and then this lymph accumulates in our tissues and has to be drained out. It has to be removed, and the lymphatic system works like this. It has pardon me. Then the lymphatic capillaries, they collect this lymph, and they supply to lymphatic nodes, lymph nodes. How they, so we have this is schematically the capillary, and capillary has cells, very, very tiny capillaries. They have very thin layer, one layer only, this epithelium cells, and they have gaps between them. They connected so that they have some openings, and through these openings, this liquid, the lymph, is sucking in to the capillaries, because have negative pressure inside of this. And why we have negative pressure? Because we have like a distributed heart. In some animals, they have two hearts. One is for circulating of blood, another for circulating on lymph. But here we have like something like a distributed heart. So we have in lymphatic vessels, we have also muscle cells, and this contraction of these muscle cells can pump lymph to further up from our legs up, and then it goes to veins and to heart. Okay, then if again they are pumping, what is happening when you are aging? First, the vessels are getting larger in size, and then muscles degenerate, they cannot work well, and also the stiffness of the muscles of the cells work so that that rate of pumping is decreased, and we need not so much. It's about 2 liters of lymph is circulated in a day, so it is slow circulation, but we need it because all these immune cells, they are mostly moving along this lymphatic these vessels. Okay, we need it. So, and this is a like highway for macrophages and other immune cells. So it is supplying, but also cancer cells can travel along the lymphatic lymphatic vessel. And especially in older age, when pumping is not working very well, they can migrate. And what else? In time, just next slide, where it is moment. No, here, wait. Okay, if you want to read some more details, please read in the description. But again, what is happening in old age? The same like in guts. You have the leaky gut syndrome. In leaky gut syndrome, that the connection between epithelium cells is getting weak, and there are some gaps, and through these gaps, bacteria, toxins, and foreign proteins and microbes can go inside. And this is a sense of the leaky gut syndrome, that there are gaps between epithelium. The same happens in older age with epithelium layer in the blood, in the vessels for in the lymphatic acids, lymphatic vessels. Then through this, what else? We have a layer of some mucus, which the same like in guts. Our biology is not different. It is, we have about the same mechanism for guts, and we have the same mechanism to protect the lymphatic vessels. There is some layer of mucus which separate the epithelium layer from inside, and but in time, amount of the mucus is it has a special name, glycocalyx, and glycocalyx. Then it gets thin, and also there are gaps between the epithelium layer, and so that our vessels should be waterproof. I mean, they should be tight. I mean, they should pump. They have positive pressure inside. They are pumping. Capillaries have openings to suck the lymph, but the vessels should pump. And if you have positive pressure and gaps between the epithelium layer and thin layer of this glycocalyx, this mucus, then all this what accumulated by capillaries, all these toxins, all these bacteria, and they can get out. And they produce inflammation or infection, or even this tumor development and metastasis. So it's very dangerous. One more problem with lymphatic vessels, and we have some guard. Some lymphatic vessels are very important. So we have mast cells around the lymphatic vessels, and these mast cells, they're just watching if there is any leak or not. In case of the leak of the lymph from the vessel, they start to produce histamine. Histamine is a pro-inflammatory molecule and ignites that inflammation, local inflammation, and then this immune cells have to come and to repair it, and they can kill the inflamed cells, and they have to make some repairs. But in older age, we have, again, as I said, gaps between the epithelium layer, between the cells of epithelium, and we have this very thin layer of this mucus, of this, let's just show to this glycocalyx, has some do not protect anymore, and then we have permanent leakage of the lymph to outside, and then the mast cells are overactivated. They're activated permanently. They always produce this histamine, and we have this inflammation around the lymphatic vessels. And in case if a real pathogen, the bacteria or some virus is getting to the tissue, this inflamed tissue, and our immune system, immune cells cannot react quick because we already have inflammation everywhere and above the capacity of the immune system, and the time gap, time delay of the reaction of immune system to real inflammation, to real pathogens is delayed, and we have metastasis, we have bacterial infection, we have viral infection. So lymphatic vessels not working properly, and they actually spread the infection instead of to cleaning of this lymph and the lymph fluid, and so it should be, again, we are losing the functionality. And what to do? Again, it is the reasons are the same, like for capillaries and for blood vessels, the same. If you have glucose, and you have glucose in lymph fluid, you have glucose, you have lipoproteins in there, and then glucose reacts with proteins, and proteins which are in muscle cells, and make it stiff, increase stiffness of the walls, the increase also it produces chronic inflammation, and etc., etc. So again, not in older age, forget about taking carbohydrates if you want to live longer. But if you want to die quick, maybe drink alcohol. It's even make your life shorter. Okay, so again, some more, you can read sources to learn more. Again, I want to emphasize that to survive, you have to work. You have to work. Nobody will give you free information. I give you, but I have some quite egoistic purpose, because if I'm making this presentation and I'm working hard, and especially if I present this video, present this this material, I get more structured, better structured information in my mind, and then it helps me. It helps me to go further. But I'm not supposed to disclose some very important part of the rejuvenation. Okay, only something which is again published by other people. Then I can summarize it and can give it you. But my own findings, no, I keep it for myself. And maybe again, maybe it is again. I don't have yet much, but I am trying some different analytics, and some work better, some work not so well, and I am put my life in risk. So why should I disclose it? Yeah, but it works. It works. It's good news. The good news, as I always repeat, that senolytics work. They can boost your energy. They can rejuvenate you. Really, it's really working. And in 5 years, it will be commercially available. Well. So again, we have to, rejuvenation is a combination of that. You have to decelerate the rate of damage and accumulation of toxins, accumulation of the senescent cells. And next, you have to repair the damage and removing toxins, and also reduce the number of senescent cells. It goes in steps. You need, you have to stay focused, and actually, I was describing the methods how to reduce toxins in your body, but again, you can find yourself what works for you better. But again, everything starts from leaky gut syndrome. If you have leaky gut, then all the inflammation going on. Okay, then also, again, what else? If you're producing toxins in your guts, and this can happen if you combine proteins and carbohydrates together. When you eat food which has proteins together with carbohydrates, then it is, yeah, for sure you will develop toxins in your guts, and these toxins will come and create this leaky gut syndrome. They will go will create inflammation in your body, and all will go wrong. So, and this is again about legume, some food which has both protein and sugar, protein or carbohydrates. Yeah, so be careful what to eat. If you eat, you can combine fat and protein. This is safe. Or even you combine probably honey with some amount of proteins. For example, I eat honeycombs and sometimes I eat drone brood, which has, I mean, a larva of drones, and it is protein. And also the honeycombs have some honey, so it is quite good source of proteins, and I believe it's very healthy. And so it is combination of proteins with sugar, with honey, and honey itself has ferments and enzymes, and which are good for your body and which work for you. And I also use some medicine, some remedies, which I believe they can clean these depositions of lipoproteins inside your body, this to make your vessels working better, including vessels, lymphatic vessels. Well. Okay, then as I said, just not follow the official advice to eat 5-6 times a day, small portions of some plant-based food. Forget about plants. Eat once or twice a day. This is give some rest, time to recover for your guts, for your liver, for your stomach. This is the best way, and again, it is enough. If you digest it well. I told you how to digest protein very well, and then it's perfect. It works perfect. You don't need much of the calories. If you digest all the protein, and if you have enough of these nutrients or minerals, it's absolutely perfect. You feel full of energy, and it works well. Maybe some problem with stress in your body, so this hormone of cortisol can make your life very difficult, so you try to avoid stress in your life. This would be very helpful. But again, how to improve circulation of lymph? Again, we have this distributed heart. It can work, but also we can the lymph is pumped by contraction of the muscles, of the big muscles in legs. If you go jogging, if you go cycling, it helps very well to pump the lymph fluid and lymph fluid along the lymphatic capillaries, but also breathing exercises. So your diaphragm actually is very powerful pump, which pumping the lymph fluid, and just make this breath exercise and full breathing, like in Hatha Yoga. I was practicing this Hatha Yoga exercise in my childhood, and when I was young, I'm a diver, and divers are doing it very well. And also diving is very healthy. You know, I was making some video about the Japanese ama women who are active to very old age, and they just practice diving every day. I mean, or when weather allows it, and what is not so cold, they go diving, and it keeps them healthy. So it is breathing exercises are very helpful, and especially if you use this vacuum in your chest and create vacuum. You know the technique. And then it is sucking your lymph up. It also helps. So a lot of exercises what you can use, and intermittent fasting, as I said, and using fat, especially then fat. The ketosis is good to remove fat from your internal organs, and because this fat has a lot of senescent cells, and why it has, I already explained that it has a lot of toxins. Toxins turn healthy cells to zombie cells, to senescent cells, and then if you remove slowly, you will burn your fat, you will feel much better. Again, problem then when your percentage of your fat is dropping, then all these toxins get in during the fasting, or your toxins get into your bloodstream, and this toxicosis is sometimes not very nice. So, but you can reduce it if you go to sauna, and if you use steam rooms, and or even go for aerobic exercises to sweat, and then it helps. It helps because you're sweating, and your toxins can be removed through your skin. Through your skin, not only with this kidney and urine. And again, I was making already videos on senestatics, quite many senestatics. It's again, this action of senestatics is not quite clear, and some senestatics probably work better, and some senesthetic works as senolytics, at least in part. So you can try. It is open information. I was giving it before. Yeah, and maybe some combination of the drugs will work as senolytics and recovers your thymus. And it's again, I was describing. You can check the publication, and with my videos, it is a combination of DHEA, zinc, selenium, vitamin B3, B6, and D. So it is again, I am not sure about antihistamine. So I take antihistamine just to sleep better. I believe that maybe it may help to reduce chronic inflammation, because again, I have already these toxins. I was so long following not correct diet, and I was relatively healthy, but yet not perfect, and then certainly I have some level of chronic inflammation, and maybe antihistamines give me some rest, some recover of this inflammation, and so histamine is suppressed. Maybe it will work better, but I cannot give any medical advice, and that just I tell you that this is experience which I use. Maybe it worked, maybe not, but again, at least it helps me to sleep better. Okay, then again, it is only for information. I am not giving medical advice. I am not recommend you anything to push you to something. You can have your own ideas, your own opinion. I am doctor in physics and maybe in engineering also, not of any medical degree. So it is my advice, and would be absolutely illegal, and I try to stay away. Not to disclose some use of medications, and which can be harmful for you. And if I use some pictures, mostly I try to make a link to this information. But if not, okay, I'm not getting any profit from this video, as you know. I'm doing all just only for education, to educate myself, and I share some knowledge with you. But take it also with some suspicion. Decide for yourself what will work or what will not. Okay, again, I am not legally, I cannot, sorry, I make this wonderful, okay, some mistake. Okay, please comment, subscribe, ask question, and share information. And you are welcome with your ideas, what I should, what new video I can make for you. Okay, thank you. Have a good day, wonderful day. Ciao.